Welcome to Biga Multimedia, where story is life and learning is our habit. History is our home of lessons for the present. Today, we are talking about how faith brought Emma and Daniel together. Title: Through Time and Tenderness. This is a sweeping love story that spans years, focusing on two individuals, Emma and Daniel, whose lives are forever altered by a series of fateful encounters. Through time, distance, heartbreak, and personal growth, they come to realize that their love is the one constant thread in the ever-changing fabric of their lives. Emma, a successful art gallery owner, meets Daniel, a passionate photographer, at an exhibition she's curating. The initial chemistry between them is undeniable, but they both live busy lives. Emma in the city, and Daniel, a world traveler, constantly on the move. Despite their mutual attraction, they part ways after the evening, not expecting to cross paths again. Emma's reflections on love, her career, and the quiet emptiness that success has not filled. Daniel, on the other hand, feels a similar restlessness, but is more transient, using his travels to distract himself from the deeper longings he doesn't often acknowledge. A year later, Daniel returns to the city for a photography exhibit and unexpectedly bumps into Emma at a cafe. This time, they don't walk away as strangers. They share a meal and begin exchanging letters as Daniel resumes his travels. As their letter exchange grows deeper, they reveal personal histories, past heartbreaks, and their dreams. Daniel's photography focuses on capturing love in its many forms, while Emma shares how art has always been a way to understand herself and the world. Through these exchanges, a profound emotional bond forms, but there is still the barrier of distance. Over the next year, Daniel visits Emma whenever he is in the city, and their connection becomes romantic. The chapters would delve deeply into the progression of their relationship, showing the joy and complexities of falling in love with someone who is often not physically present. Emma begins to feel the strain of Daniel's constant travels, wondering if they could ever have a life together, while Daniel is torn between his love for Emma and his passion for his work, which demands that he be elsewhere over time. Their letters become less frequent, and Emma starts to feel like Daniel's absence is pulling them apart. Daniel, too, feels the pressure, but doesn't know how to bridge the gap between them without giving up his photography career, which is just starting to reach new heights. Emma meets someone new, Liam, a fellow art curator, and begins to consider whether she could move on from Daniel. This chapter explores Emma's internal conflict, torn between loyalty to her connection with Daniel and the possibility of a more stable relationship with Liam. After months of uncertainty, Emma writes a letter to Daniel, explaining that she can no longer continue their long-distance relationship. Daniel, heartbroken, realizes too late that his life without her feels empty, no matter where in the world he is. They part ways, each pursuing their own paths. Emma begins dating Liam and for a while finds solace in the predictability and comfort of a relationship that doesn't have the emotional highs and lows she had with Daniel. But something is missing. She still thinks of Daniel often, unable to fully let go of the connection they have. Emma and Daniel live separate lives, each evolving in their careers and personal journeys. Emma's gallery becomes more successful, and Daniel travels to remote parts of the world, building a name for himself as a photographer. One day, while curating a new exhibit on love and loss, Emma is struck by a realization. Her love for Daniel was the truest thing she had ever experienced, and it wasn't something she could simply replace with stability. Meanwhile, in the mountains of Peru, Daniel captures an image of a couple embracing at sunset and is overwhelmed by the realization that he has been running away from his feelings for Emma, using his travels as a distraction. Several years later, a twist of fate brings Daniel back to the city. He visits Emma's gallery, unaware that she is the curator of the new exhibit. When he sees the exhibit on love and loss, and the peace that Emma created reflecting their relationship, he knows that they are meant to be together. When they finally meet, emotions run high. Both confess how much they've missed one another, but they also acknowledge the pain they've caused. This chapter would be an emotional deep dive, exploring their fears, regrets, and lingering love. Emma and Daniel decide to give their relationship another chance, but this time, they do it differently. They both agree to compromise. Daniel reduces his travel commitments, and Emma becomes more involved in his photography work, giving them the opportunity to spend more time together. But finally, the idea of love is not a choice, not just an emotion. Emma and Daniel learn to balance their passions and their relationship, finding a way to be together without giving up who they are individually. Emma and Daniel sitting together in a cafe, much like when they first met. But this time, the air is filled with the quiet contentment of knowing that they have found their way back to each other, stronger and more in love than ever. If you want more of these stories, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button for From Biga Multimedia. Drop your comments for me to use your name on the new story. Until then, bye.